Give it up for Mr. Patrick Wyatt.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming out. I especially want to thank my Oasis friends for all coming out. Here's David Hogue. Okay, I'm going to dedicate a joke to you, David. Before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I want to acknowledge two couples that drove all the way over from Phoenix, Arizona for this show. They're both, let me tell you a little bit about them. They're both, the gentlemen are in the Air Force. They both had Afghanistan tours of duty. One of them just had his first baby 2 weeks ago. The other one won Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. And they're both going to go over and be deployed. So please give it up for two wonderful Air Force guys, Kyle Lyon and their wives. Thanks a lot for coming out, guys. And thanks for protecting us and our country. Appreciate your service. How many of you remember that show? What was it? Rod Serling, Twilight Zone? Anybody remember that? You know, I can't see a thing up here, but anyway, I'll assume somebody raised their hand. All right, let me give you Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. You ready? Picture, if you will, a dark, starless night. A lonely road. A car is going down the road. He sees a hitchhiker. He debates, do I pick him up or not? He pulls over. The hitchhiker gets in the car. After they go a few miles, the hitchhiker says, I'm surprised you'd pick me up on this dark, lonely road. I could be a serial killer or something. The driver says, I don't think so. Chances are 1 in a million there'd be 2 serial killers in the same car at the same time. Yes, those of you that know me know I like my wine. Well, I was out at one of the wineries tasting one day, and I probably had a little bit too much, but it was a beautiful day. Sunshine was out. I was driving home, and I got pulled over. The policeman came up to my window. He looked down. You know, I wish I wouldn't wear those mirrored sunglasses. All I could think about was, do I have spinach between my teeth? Do I need a haircut? You know? But he looked down. He says, you drinking? I looked up. I said, you buying? We both had a laugh, but I had to come up with some serious bail money. So I tried to change the subject. You know, I said, it's a beautiful day, officer. He goes, yeah, it is. I wish I was out on the golf course. I said, well, no disrespect, officer, but I wish you were too. So he like that. He let me go. I tell you, I really hate it when a woman sees me naked for the first time. I'm always afraid she's going to scream and run out of the park. Yeah, I dated a girl many years ago, and, you know, she was one of those girls that didn't want to get too close too quick, if you know what I mean, you know, kind of secretive. Well, after 2 years of dating her, I finally gave her an ultimatum. I said, either tell me your name or it's over. So a blonde, she suspects her boyfriend of cheating on her, so she buys a gun, she goes over to his apartment, throws open the door, sure enough, there he is in the arms of her brunette. She's really angry, but all of a sudden she's overcome by grief. So she puts a gun to her own head. Her boyfriend says, don't do it, honey. She said, shut up, you're next. My grandmother, we couldn't decide on my grandmother whether to have her cremated or bury her, so in the end we just decided to let her live. My wife and I had that conversation, cremation, burial. I told her I wanted to be cremated, so she made me an appointment for next Tuesday. Even those of you that know me well out there don't know this, I have a little alligator at home, about 10 inches long. He's afraid of water. I don't tell anybody this because I'm so embarrassed. I don't want anybody to know I have a reptile dysfunction. So I'll tell you what always catches my eye are short people with umbrellas. I knew you'd get that. So a highway patrolman comes across a serious accident. The driver's dead, all the passengers are dead. As he's surveying the scene, he looks down, a little monkey comes out from behind a bush. He looks down at the monkey and he says, "Boy, I wish you could talk." The monkey goes, he says, "You can understand me?" He says, "Well, what happened here?" "They were drinking." He says, "What else?" "They were smoking marijuana." He says, "Well, were you in the car?" He says, "What were you doing?" I made a mistake recently of buying one of those memory foam mattresses. Now it's trying to blackmail me. So a golfer said to his, we have any golfers out there? I know we have golfers. Yeah, David, oh, it's for you too, David. So the golfer says to his caddy, "You have got to be the worst caddy in the world." The caddy says, "I doubt that, sir. That would be too much of a coincidence." So a spaceship landed on Earth, and surprisingly, the aliens were not only friendly, but they spoke English. So all the world leaders got together to talk to him and ask him questions. So it finally got to be the Pope's turn. The Pope says, "Are you familiar with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?" The alien says, "Oh yeah, JC. He comes around to see us every year and make sure we're doing okay." The Pope goes, "We've been waiting 2 millennia for him to come for the second time." The alien saw that the Pope was a little upset, so he said, "Well, maybe it's the chocolate. Maybe you liked our chocolate better than yours." The Pope said, "Chocolate? What's chocolate got to do with it?" He said, "Well, the first time he came, we gave him this huge box of chocolate. What did you guys do?" So a Muslim family moves to Ireland. I love Ireland, I'm an Irishman. But they moved to Ireland. First day, little Mohammed goes to school. The teacher says, "What's your name?" He says, "Mohammed." She goes, No. You're in Ireland now, you're going to be an Irishman. Your name's going to be Michael." So he goes home. His mother says to him, "Mohammed, how was your first day at school?" He said, "I'm not Mohammed anymore, I'm Michael. I'm going to be an Irishman." She goes, "What? You turn your back on your religion, your culture, your family?" She beats him up. His father gets home from work. He hears the story. He beats him up too. The next day, the kid goes to school. He's all black and blue. The teacher says, "Michael, what happened to you?" He said, "I don't know. I've only been an Irishman for 1 day. I've already been beaten up by 2 crazy Muslims." So, I was sitting in a psychology 101 class in college, and we were learning about Pavlov and his dogs. I know a lot of you know about that. And we're all sitting there going, "Boy, those dogs are so stupid, you know?" Then the bell rang and we all went to lunch. So a child psychologist is doing group therapy with 4 mothers and their child. After an hour, he gets up and he looks at them and he goes, "You know, you all have an obsession. You're obsessed with food. You named your daughter Candy. You're obsessed with money. You named your daughter Penny. You're obsessed with alcohol. You named your daughter Brandy." At that point, the 4th mother reaches down, she takes her little boy's hand and says, "Come on, Dick, we're out of here." And that's about as dirty as it's going to get tonight, folks. So, an Irishman and a Scot and an Englishman, they all get together, they're talking about their favorite bars. The Englishman says, "Well, at the Red Lion in London, you go in, you buy 2 drinks, they give you the 3rd drink free." The little Irishman, not to be outdone, says, "Well, that's nothing. I go in my favorite pub in Dublin, Ireland. They buy your first drink, they buy your second drink, they buy all the drinks you want. And after you're all done drinking, you had enough, they take you upstairs and they make sure you get laid. All in the house." guys are kind of suspicious. He said, and this really happened to you? He goes, well, me personally, no. But it did happen to my sister several times. I'm not going to say who, because a lot of people from the Oasis here, but the couple next door to us recently made a sex tape. They just don't know it yet. Yeah, most of you do know that I don't drive anymore. So the other day I rode my bike over to the liquor store. I bought a fifth of scotch. I came out and I put it in the basket of my bike, and I looked and I thought, oh boy, if I fall on the way home, this could break. So I sat there in the parking lot, I drank the entire fifth of scotch. Turned out to be a good decision. I fell 7 times on the way home. You know, my doctor said to me, he said, Patrick, you need to lose a little weight. I said, well, how am I going to do that? He goes, don't eat anything fatty. I said, you mean like cookies, ice cream, cake? He goes, no. Don't eat anything fatty. Speaking of that, I don't know if you heard that latest study out of Stanford. It shows that women that carry around a few extra pounds live longer than the men who mention it. None of you guys know this, but I recently became a widower. That is, if everything went according to plan. It's a joke, folks. Relax. Oh, boy. You know, one of the ways I used to make money when I was a teenager is I'd go out to the golf course. I'd collect all the golf balls that the guys hit over the fence. I'd take them home, clean them, and bring them back and sell them back to the golfers. So one day, I had a really successful day. I mean, I had so many golf balls, both my front pockets were bulging. So I went to get on the bus to go home and sat next to, yeah, you guessed it, a blonde. She kept looking at my pockets. Finally, I looked at her and I said, it's golf balls. 5 minutes later, she's still looking. She goes, let me ask you, does it hurt as much as tennis elbow? So I went in a new restaurant recently and never been in there before. All the waitresses were good looking. In fact, the lady that came over to serve me, she's short skirt, beautiful legs. She said, sir, what would you like? I looked at the menu up and down, I looked her up and down, I said, I'll have a quickie. She turned around and walked away in a huff. I thought, what? 5 minutes later, after she composed herself, she came back. She said, sir, what would you like? Again, I said, I'll have a quickie. Smack! She hits me across the face and storms off again. The guy at the next table leans over to me and he said, sir, I think it's pronounced quiche. I was never very good at French. So a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, they all get convicted of first-degree murder. So they're all going to die in the electric chair. So the brunette goes first. They said, do you have any last words? She goes, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. They strap her in the chair, they pull the lever, nothing happens. The warden says, well, you're free to go, we can't execute you twice. They looked at the redhead next and they said, do you have any last words? She goes, I too am innocent. They strap her in the chair, they pull the lever, nothing happens. The warden says, you're free to go too. Next was the blonde. They said, do you have any last words? She goes, yeah, look, somebody forgot to plug in the electric chair. Hey, you guys have been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I visited my sister in Michigan recently, and I was so cold up there, I actually saw a politician with his hands in his own pockets. I worked with a blonde once. She thought manual labor was a Mexican. She got pregnant. Toward the end of her pregnancy, she went to Pizza Hut because she heard she had free delivery. After she had the baby, she went on a job interview, and the guy said, I want you to spell your name. She said, Yourname. I love telling the blonde jokes, I really do. I apologize to all you blondes, but I love telling the jokes. You know, everybody has a really, really bad day at some point in their lives. Mine was about 20 years ago. I was married to a different lady at that time, and then that morning, she got run over by a bus. Seriously, and that afternoon, I got fired as my job as a bus driver. It was a terrible day. Terrible day. You guys know you're getting old when you look in your contact list, and most of the names have MD after them, right? I went to the doctor last week, and he diagnosed me with OCD, old, cranky, and demented. My ex-wife, the one that got run over by a bus, she said to me once, she goes, Patrick, if you continue to snore like you do, one of these mornings you're going to wake up and not be able to breathe. I said, you mean because of sleep apnea? She goes, no, because my hands are going to be around your throat. You guys remember a few weeks back when President Trump canceled the military flight that was due to take Nancy Pelosi to Afghanistan? Anybody remember that? No, really, seriously folks, I think he made a mistake, I really do. I think he should have let her go and cancel the return flight. I'll tell a Republican joke later. Yeah, I see a lot of the people up front here are kind of old, and I told my camera guy, hey, I'm kind of old. Let's put it this way. I see a lot of people up here that are my age. How's that better? Oh, I can't see you. Anyway, I told my camera guy, don't shine the light right in their eyes because they might get up and start walking toward it. Does everybody know what autocorrect is on your computer? You'll be typing a word, if you mistype it, it automatically corrects it. Well, I'll tell you, autocorrect on my computer has become my worst enemy. Yeah, two guys were applying for a job. One of them had blonde hair, male blonde hair. So they're both pretty equally qualified. So they had them take a 10-question test. Each of them got 9 right. So they took the blonde aside and said, we're going to give the job to the other guy. He said, why? We both got 9 right on the test. The guy says, it's not the number you got right, it's the nature of the answer and when you got wrong. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, on number 5, the other guy put, I don't know. You put, neither do I. Yeah, I was stuck in traffic on the freeway the other day. I mean, it was a parking lot. Nobody was moving. I looked up and this guy was going car to car. He finally got back to me. I said, hey, what's up? He said, you didn't hear. The entire Congress got captured by terrorists. And unless we can come up with $100 million by tonight, they're going to pour gasoline on them all and light them on fire. He said, I'm taking up a collection. I said, well, on the average, how much are people giving? He said, about a gallon. You guys don't have to worry about health care, really. I mean, you just go out to the airport, they give you a free x-ray and breast exam. If you mention Al-Qaeda, you get a free colonoscopy, too. Another way I made money when I was in college is I worked as a night auditor at a hotel. And one day this older woman came down. She said, hey, there's a naked man outside my window, come quick. So I went up there, I looked around, I said, where? She points out the window to an apartment building across the street. I looked over, I saw a guy, you can see him from the waist up, he's got no shirt on. I said, well, hey, he's probably just getting ready to go to bed. Besides that, why do you say he's naked? You can only see him from the waist up. She said, the dresser, stand on the dresser. So a mother says to her son, she goes, I'm not a bad mother, am I, Jimmy? He goes, no, you're not, but my name is Tommy. I remember back when I was 4 years old, I had a brother 2 years older than me. He was 6. He came to me and he says, hey, I think we're old enough now to start swearing. I was excited for it. Yes, let's do it. He goes, okay, when we go down for breakfast this morning, I'm going to say something with the word hell in it. You say something with the word ass in it. I said, yeah, great. So we go down. My mother comes to him. She goes, what would you like for breakfast this morning? He goes, oh, hell, Mom, I think I'll have a bowl of Cheerios. Whack! She knocks him out of the chair, paddles him all the way up to his room and locks him in. She comes back down to me. She said, mister, what would you like for breakfast? I said, well, I don't know, but you can bet your sweet ass it won't be Cheerios. I got on a bus one time and I sat next to this really good-looking lady, and she had a baby. And she looks down, she starts breastfeeding the baby. Wow. So she says to the baby, he's not taking it. She goes, come on, honey, take this, or I'm going to have to give it to this nice man sitting next to us. Wow. And she's trying to encourage him. So 5 minutes go by, he's still not taking it. She goes, honey, come on now, take this, or I'm going to have to give it to this nice man sitting next to us. 5 minutes go by. I finally looked over and I said, make up your mind, kid. I was supposed to get off 4 stops ago. You guys know that opportunity knocks but once, but I'll tell you, temptation bangs on my front door forever. Yeah, man. So I spent 4 days looking for my ex-wife's killer. I couldn't find anybody to do it. I got a phone call yesterday. I answered it. I said, I can't talk to you right now. I'm busy helping my wife search for the chocolate that I ate last night. Two guys are driving home from work and they see 2 dogs doing you know what on the front lawn. And one of them says, yeah, that's the way my wife and I like to do it. The other guy goes, wow, my wife's really conservative. How do you get your wife to do that? He says, well, just give her 2 drinks. So next morning he picks a guy up. He says, well, how'd it go? He says, well, it worked, but it took 10 drinks. The guy said, 10 drinks? He goes, yeah. After 2 drinks, she was willing to do it that way, but it took another 8 drinks to get her out on the lawn. Yeah. I made a New Year's resolution this year, folks. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Only 14 more to go. Guy's walking downtown on a dark night. He passes a dark alley. He hears a woman's voice say, $20. He thinks, well, I've never been with a hooker before. Why not? So he goes in. They start getting it on. A few minutes later, a policeman shines a light on him. He goes, what are you guys doing? Guy looks down. He goes, I'm making love to my wife. Policeman says, well, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was your wife. He goes, neither did I till you shined the light on us. Hey, folks, I've had a lot of fun tonight. I hope I brought some laughter into your lives. Thank you so much.